Waganya little nanis. I check this. Today we're gonna go through a little something different. You see, normally man goes through the topic, but today man's gonna go through the exam questions. So in conclusion, man's here to open your eyes and take your intelligence to a more smarties level. So let's jump straight to this. A little light work thing as usual. Man's gonna take difficult and make it into a little simplification. So give me a sec. Let me check a little something. You don't know the pattern. Okay, a little something to get me started. So let's go in it. This is the first question. Yeah, okay, cool. Listen. So we're looking at, inverse proportional, directly proportional, this time the topic. It comes up quite regularly. So let me just, okay, cool. So let's go through this here. Now listen, there's a few things you need to understand firstly. What's the difference between inversely and the difference between directly? So inversely has division involved, okay? And directly has multiplication involved. Now, man's going to show you what I mean, okay? So H is inversely proportional to P. So this is what you do. Because H is on the left-hand side, so H is inversely to P. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put H first, okay? H is inversely proportional. So remember, inversely means division. Now, the first thing you do is you put the proportional sign. This is the proportional sign. And because it says inversely, you're going to put division like this, okay? On the top, you're going to put a 1. And on the bottom, you're going to put whatever it says here. So P. Okay, so that's what it means. So therefore, H is inversely proportional to P. That's how you represent what they've said. Okay, now let's look at P is directly proportional to T. So you're going to put P is directly proportional. Now remember what I told you, directly proportional is multiplication thing. So you're going to put 1. And instead of division, you're going to put multiplication. Okay, and you're going to multiply it by root T. Okay. So listen, I hope so far you're okay with what I'm saying. I hope so far. So remember, H is inversely proportional to P, the first one. Inversely proportional means division. So that's why I've put 1 over P. And then the right-hand side is P is directly proportional to T. It's multiplication. That's why you're timesing by the 1. Okay, cool. So far, everything's cool, calm. Now, it says here, given that H is equal to 10, T is equal to 144, P is equal to 6. Now, what's really important is, if I put an equal sign here, and I put an equal sign here, what happens is this 1 and this 1 become two separate constants. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean, okay? Now, let me show you what I mean. So, let's say if I change H is equal to now, instead of saying proportional, I do equal to, that's no longer going to be a 1. What that is going to be is it's going to become a constant. Now, it's going to become any random letter you can put. But it's going to be a number. But what we're going to do is we're going to represent it as a letter because we don't know the number. Now, let's say, for example, I put the letter as, let's say, K. And then you divide that by P. Okay? So, therefore, that 1 has become a K. Reason being is because I have changed the proportional to equals. Okay? All right, cool. Same thing happens here. Okay? So, P is going to be equal. However, that 1 is now going to become a constant, but it's not going to be the same as this. So I'm not going to put K. It's not going to be K. It's going to be a completely different constant. Now, let's say if you use C. Okay, so I'm going to put C. And then I'm going to put root T. So I hope so far you're cool with what I'm saying. Now, they've told us, they've said, given that H equals 10, T is equal to 144, and P equals 6. They've given us this. The reason they've given us this is because they want us to find these two different constants. That's why they've done that, okay? So that's what I'm going to do firstly. So for this one, as we know, is it has a H and it has a P. So it says H is 10, P is 6. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do, let me just move this to the left-hand side, okay? So I know H is 10 when P is 6. They've given us that. So what I'm going to do, H is 10. I've got H here. So man's going to put 10. Is equal to constant divided by P, which is 6. So there's a P there, so man's going to replace that for 6. Okay, now I'm going to make the constant the subject. Okay, so K is going to be equal to, the question is, what is it going to be equal to? Now, this K divided by 6, so it's division by 6. Now, what's the opposite of division? It's multiplication, you get me? So if we want to get rid of a division by 6, we have to times by 6. But remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So I'm going to times this side by 6 as well. Okay? So therefore, as you can see, this cancels out with this. And you're left with K is going to be equal to 6 times 10, which is going to be 60. Calm, little light work thing. So what I'm going to do now is man's going to take this, man's going to rewrite it now. H is equal to K, which I just discovered to be as 60. So man's going to put 60 divided by P. Calm, that's step number 1 done. Now, let me just put this there, yeah? Now, let's go to the right-hand side. So P is equal to C root T. Same thing, yeah? So it says here, remember, we're trying to find the constant. And we do that by what they've given us. They've told us P is equal to 6 when T is 144. So give me a second. P is equal to 6 when T is equal to 144. Now, let's do this together now, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slap in P is equal to 6. So man's going to put 6 is equal to, obviously the C we don't know, we're trying to find the square root of T, and T is 144. So square root of 144. Calm. So therefore 6 is equal to C, and then square root of 144 is telling me, what's it telling me? It's telling me 12, okay? So therefore what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make C the subject. How do I make C the subject here? Who can tell me how do I make C the subject? So what I do is, obviously it's been multiplication by 12. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12, okay? Now in doing so, this 12 cancel out. I'm going to be left with C is equal to 6 over 2, okay? 6 over 12. And 6 over 12 is 1 over 2, okay? Because 6 goes into 6. That 2 looks nuts. 1 second. Because 6 goes into 6 1 time. 6 goes into 12 2 times, okay? So that's why it's a half. All right, calm. So I hope so far you're good with this. Now, as usual, what man's going to do is I'm going to rewrite this, but now we know C. So P is equal to C, which is a half, and then root T. Calm. So that's the next. So we're nearly there. So listen, I want you to just take a look at this, and if you didn't understand anything, just go back and just rewatch it again before I continue moving. I need to rub some things out now, so you know, if you can, just copy it all down or pause the video, and I'm gonna start rubbing some things out. So give me a second. I'm gonna rub out a couple things, okay? So I'm just gonna rub this stuff out from the top. Give me a second. Alright, cool. Actually, I don't need to rub that out. Yeah, I'm gonna rub that out, my bad. Alright, cool. So now that I've done that, yeah, now listen, yeah. They've telling us, find a formula for H in terms of T. What that means, yeah, it's really important. For H in terms of T, what that means is they want H on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, they want a T. They don't care how they want it. It could be, you know, ... divided by T. It doesn't matter. The whole point is they want H on the left-hand side and T on the right-hand side. Okay, that's what they mean by find a formula for H in terms of T. Now, given that, yeah, given what they're saying, so what I'm going to do is, I know what H is equal to. H is equal to 60 over P, okay? Let me rewrite this. H is equal to 60 over P. And I've also discovered that P is equal to a half root T. So what I'm going to do now is this P here, I'm going to replace for a half root T because it's equal to P. It's the same thing, okay? So basically what I could do is I could do 60 over P, which is a half root T, okay? 1 second, let me try that. Half root T. Alright, now man, listen, you can leave it like this, but I think it's good if you simplify it. So the question is, what's 60 divided by a half? Okay, 60 divided by a half is exactly the same thing as 60 times, and I'm going to flip this up and down, 2 over 1. Okay, you can do that. So if you get 6 divided by half, it's the same thing as 60 times by this thing here flipped up and down, which is going to be 2 over 1, and that's going to be equal to 60 times 2 is going to be 120, okay? So therefore, that's calm. So what I could do is I can rewrite this now as 60 over half. We just discovered it's going to be 120. So man's going to write 120 on the top. But on the bottom, there's still a root T. So man's going to put divided by root T. And listen, this is our final answer, okay? Because remember, it says find the formula for H in terms of T. And I said to you, H is on the left-hand side, T is on the right-hand side. Calm, little light working. So listen, I'm going to rub this out, and then we're going to look at our next question, okay? So give me a sec, let me rub this out. Let me rub this out quickly. Okay. I hope so far everything's good. 1 second. Give me 2 minutes. Alright, cool. Let me bring in the next question now. Okay, so let me just quickly get the next one. Alright, let me move this question. Alright, cool. So let's say if it's this little light work thing, yeah? Alright, so look, it says here, work out. 1 second. Alright, cool. Look, it says here, work out 3 and then half, whatever that is, times 1 and then 3 over 5. Alright, cool. So listen, it says give your number as a mixed number. in its simplest form, yeah? So listen, this is what we need to do, yeah? I don't know if you've seen these types of questions before, but listen, hopefully, obviously, as usual, man's gonna try and make this a bit easy for you, man, you understand? So, let's jump into this, innit? So, 1 second, give me a second, let me just, alright, cool. So, basically, this 3 and then a half, yeah? So, man's gonna rewrite that, yeah? 3 and then a half. And then we've got times, you got 1 and then 3 over 5. How we can make this, what I'm going to do, man's going to make this into one thing, yeah? It's going to become one whole division thing times one whole division thing. How you do this is you do 3 times 2 goes on the top, okay? 3 times 2 goes on the top. And then you also add the 1 on the top. And then you divide it by whatever on the bottom here, which is 2. So I'm going to put 2 down here. You get me? So I'm going to do it for the same one here again, yeah? So remember, I'm going to do 1 times 5 goes on the top. Okay? I'm going to add 3. And then I'm going to divide it by whatever's on the bottom here, which is 5. Okay? So I'm going to do this one more time because I need you lot to fully understand what I've done here. Obviously, for those who understand, cool in it. But listen, I'm sure I'll explain one more time. Because, you know, to fully understand these, we need to go through it, yeah? So remember, yeah? So I've got 3 half, yeah? I've got times that by 1 and then 3 fifths. Alright, cool. So what's happening here, remember, I'm going to do one division here. One division line here. Alright, so how I simplify this, I go 3 times 2 plus 1 goes on the top. So 3 times 2 plus 1 goes on the top. And on the bottom, whatever's on the bottom here will go down here. So that's a 2, so man's going to put 2 down there. Cool. For this as well, so 1 times 5 plus 3 will go on the top. So man's going to do 1 times 5 plus 3 will go on the top. And on the bottom, whatever's here will go here, which is 5. So man's going to put 5 there. Calm, little light work. Little light work thing, you understand? So now, man's going to do a little simplification. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. A little light work thing. So man's going to put 7 divided by 2. Times 1 times 5 is 5 plus 3 is 8. So man's going to put 8 over 5. Now man's just going to do a little simplification. So what I'm going to do now is 7 times 8 is going to be 56. Okay. Divide that by 2 times 5, which is 10. So man's going to put 10 down here. Okay, so remember, 7 times 8, 56. Okay, and then man's got 2 times 5, 10. Little light work thing. Now what I'm going to do, I need to remember, it says simplest form, yeah? So 56 divided by 10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both of it. How many 2's go into 56? 28. How many 2's go into 10? 5. Okay, so man just doing a little simplification because remember you can't use a calculator here, so you're just gonna divide by 2, everything divide by 2 till you get down to the simplest. That's a good way of doing it. However, they want it as a mixed number, so what that means is they want it to look like something like this. Okay, so now I say to myself, how many times does 5 go into 28? Okay, so remember, yeah, how many times does 5 go into 28? Okay, so basically 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, but then after 25 it's going to be 30. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many times does 5 go into 28? It's going to be 5 times. However, we're going to have a remainder from 25 to 28. There's a remainder of 3. Okay, remember that, yeah? From 25 to 28 there's a remainder of 3. So that 3 will go up here and divided by whatever's down here will go down here. So man's going to put 5. So I hope you understood what I did there. Like, I really hope you understood what I did there. Man's going to explain that one more time. Okay? Let me explain that one more time, yeah? Let me rub this bit out. Because this bit is very, very important. And I don't want you lot to miss out on this, okay? Now, I want to make this into a mixed number like what they've done here, yeah? Now, how you do that is you look at the bottom here. And you say to yourself, how many times does this bottom go into 28? So how many 5s fit into 28? That's another way you could say it, yeah? So you got 5, okay? Then you got 10. Then you got 15, then you got 20, then you got 25. But if I go above 25, it's going to be 30 now. Obviously, 30 we don't need because 28 is the maximum. So basically, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my big number is going to be 5, okay? Then I say to myself, what's the difference between 25 and 28? And the difference is 3, okay? So, because how much do I need to add from 25 to get to 28? And it's going to be 3. So therefore, that difference is going to go on the top here. Man's going to divide that by whatever is down here is going to go down here. So man's going to put 5 right there. Calm, that's the answer. Little light work thing, you understand? So listen, I hope so far you're understanding what I'm doing. Okay, I really hope so far you're understanding what I'm doing. Okay, cool, let me rub this out now. And then let's go and look at another question now. So give me a second. Let me rub this out. Okay, cool. Alright, let me just move this question now. Man's gonna bring it. What the fuck? Give me a second. Alright, yeah. Alright, let's bring this one in now. Alright, this one's a little light work too as well. Alright, so what I've got here is I've got x squared minus 6x plus 1, and we're going to put it into this format, okay? So basically what we do here, yeah, is x squared minus 6x plus 1, okay? What I'm going to do now is, how you would do a question like this is, I'm going to rewrite this x, but without the squared. Instead, I'm just going to write x like this, okay? I'm going to write minus, what's 6 divided by 2? It's going to be 3, so I'm going to put 3 here. I'm going to close the bracket, and this square that was here is now going to go up here. And because we're completing the square, what we need to do now is 3 squared is 9. So man's going to subtract 9. And then this plus 1 here, I'm going to put at the end here. Okay, like this. So therefore, I've got x minus 3 all squared minus 9 plus 1. That's going to become minus 8. Now, I'm going to do this one more time so you lot can fully understand what I've done here, okay? This is really important. So let me rub this bit out again. Let me do this one more time, okay? I've actually done a video on this, so you can go check that video out. But obviously, for those who haven't looked at the video and just watched the video, I'm going to explain one more time. So I've got x squared minus 6 positive 1. What I'm going to do, because we're completing the square, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write x here, but not to the power of 2, only to the power of 1, okay? And then I'm going to do minus, divide 6 by 2, it's going to be 3, so you put 3 here. You always do that. So even if this was 10, and you divide it by 2, it gives you 5. So you always divide it by 2, so 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3, so I put the 3 here. And because we're completing the square, I'm going to put square up here. Next step, whatever number is here, I'm going to square it. Using this square here, it's going to give me 3 squared, and then you're going to subtract 9. And then now, the plus 1 you just put there. So man's going to put plus 1. So then I've got x minus 3 all squared. Minus 9 plus 1 is giving me minus 8. Calm, little light work tick. So listen, I hope so far you're okay. Now, normally there's a part B. Part B will say something like, what's the turning point? Okay? What's the turning point given this here? Okay? So what we do is we're going to take that, yeah? So x minus 3 all squared minus 8. So what I'm going to do, the turning point is an x and it's a y coordinate, okay? It's an x and a y coordinate. Now, the x coordinate, which goes here, okay, will be this, but opposite sign. So because this says minus 3, it's going to be positive 3. And whatever here is, you're just going to put here minus 8. I hope so. I hope you understand this. So this is the turning point, okay? The turning point is whatever number you see here, it gives me minus 3. I'm going to change the sign. I'm going to put it as the x coordinate, which is plus 3. And then whatever's on the outside here, you leave it like that and you put it as the y coordinate. So therefore, 3 minus 8 is the turning point. Listen, I hope this video helped you with these types of questions. More videos like this coming soon. I'm just going to be covering some exam questions from now on because, you know, I want to make sure, you know, I ingrain this in your skull. So don't watch that. More videos coming soon. Love.